Yeah. All right. I am back with Hubert Grabowski for part number two. And I just want to thank you for being here, Hubert. And how are you, sir?
Thank you for having me on your channel. I'm okay, actually, but not really my wife, not really. What happened? First of all, I wanna thank you for your book. It's
You're welcome.
amazing book. It's big one,
You
and
needed a
I
copy.
try just spend more time, so for reading, but give me time for that. This is your story. I want to talk to you about your story today as well because it's very interesting. Yeah, and tell everyone what's happened. Because on my channel, so nobody knows you, and so what's happened to you, and that's in the second. So what's happened after so our first conversation after the first video.
Yeah,
Uh,
about a
so
week ago.
my yeah, when we split off because we had to split off with my wife, so a few months ago because them, yeah, and then she had to go to London, and she was working in London, so for I don't know about 1 month, I think, yeah. And last week she came back to Poland, yeah, and then after our conversation, our video, and on Monday she was in hospital. Maybe I show you someone tried to someone poisoned her, maybe we can look at this.
It's hard
Yeah,
to see.
maybe. Oh, okay, that's her legs, yeah. Hold on a second, maybe. Okay, so the legs looks like a balloons, yeah. And then a very big problem with heart and kidneys, yeah. So she's in Warsaw. I am in Stargard. So they hit her, in Warsaw after our conversation. But I think so her problem, so was in London when she just finished the work. But so why this happened? Because on Monday she had the appointment in bank because we had problem with repossession men. Why? Because they squeeze us like a lemon before. We had a big problem with money. Yeah, everything what we had was sold from the house. Yeah, and then her family help us because we had to pay so for the repossession men about 36,000 zloty, and this money disappear from her bank account, and we don't know where is it. So so she had the appointment, and she didn't go. Why? Because someone poisoned her, and the problem was completely different because and she was in hospital. I spoke to Ian on Monday. We
Yep.
have contact every day about this. Yesterday her family took her to another hospital in completely different town, and they tried to save her, and then believe me, so they gave her so some medicine, and then she had allergy attack yesterday, and they had to save her again, yeah. And this is not first time, that was a very big problem, for us. And then why they took the money from her bank account? Because if I don't pay, they tried to put me to the prison for 8 months. I have this document. You too as well. Yes,
And
you
this
have as
is
well.
36,000 zloty, right?
36,000 zloty. Yes,
And
yeah, exactly. And around this money, about this amount, yeah, something's like this, about 36,000 zloty. Yeah, and this amount disappeared from her bank account. Yeah. First, said bank account was frozen, like repossession man, was the action from him. Yeah, I
Mhm.
have answer from him. He said I didn't do it. I didn't. So I said, yeah, but someone did it.
Mhm.
Someone did it. Yeah. So they tried to put me to the prison for 8 months, but they didn't because so we are smarter than them sometimes. Yeah, I think we try, so do our job properly, yeah, and then family help me again, and then I pay, monthly small amounts, because so that's the problem for us as well, and that's why we avoid, the repossession man's action, so about me, yeah. So this is big problem, yeah. And she still looks like a balloon,
Yeah, I've
it's
seen the
problem with
pictures.
heart. Yes, yeah,
Yep.
the heart and kidneys are destroyed. So you can just could you imagine, so what's happened, so after
No.
so our conversation.
Do they have a diagnosis of it or any, do
We're
they know
still
what?
waiting for some, results, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we know exactly what's happened with her heart and the kidneys, yeah. So we know the answer. The kidneys is always toxic, some toxic or something like this, yeah.
Yeah. No, and when you
So
say
we
that,
should, but
when
the
you,
problem was, so when she back from London, so
yeah,
that was the first poison and second in Poland, So we know this is not just problem in Poland and in Stargard, but this is a global problem, so, and we are you and me, Ian, inside
mhm.
the big fucking circus, yeah. So yeah, exactly, that's what's happened, so in this week.
Wow, that's a lot. So
Yeah, I know, I know.
when you say they, you're not just talking about the people in Poland or in Stargard. You're talking about the network that's connected,
Yes,
the occult network. Okay.
yes.
Yeah, I just wanted to clarify that because you also sent me pictures of another Stargard official, Bogdan Siviets, with pictures of him with Freemasonic
Yeah,
artwork,
yeah,
and I think that I mentioned him in one of my earlier videos, and I knew his
yeah. This is
first
he's a he's a judge in
yeah,
Stargard, and the sculptures, yeah, just saying many silent words, to us, like
yeah,
what I'm talking about, yeah. Some art sometimes is telling you truth, completely
oh
truth,
for
yeah,
sure,
what's going on.
and that's Sławomir Wojtek's best friend and Agata, my first wife's godfather. And yeah, there's other artwork. Like I have pictures from
That's
Stargard
amazing.
concerts.
That's amazing.
They're sacrificing a baby
Unbelievable.
on stage in a Stargard concert. It's a doll, but they're putting it right out in the open because these people are in control there, and they don't care anymore. They can put it in the open because people have been blind to it for so long. Um,
People are blind. People are blind, Ian, and people are just sometimes I think people don't care, until they have problem, and
mhm.
we have to wake up, so everyone's supposed to just wake up, because when next time is gonna be your child,
Yes,
yeah,
it will be.
another
Yep,
child, yeah, that's the problem, and they
exactly.
they they don't get it. They don't get it yet, and that's the big problem for us. But if, I saw our the video, and many people just saw this video,
Hmm.
and I think so we are on the good way to explain everything, so what's going on.
I think so
And
too.
yeah, I think so, yeah, I'm sure about that, and I hope everyone's gonna wake up, and they just open them eyes, and then just go with us, yeah.
Yeah. And everyone who's listening, please pray for Hubert's wife, because
Thank you.
I've seen the pictures, and she's been suffering, and that is a shame, and I'm sorry, Hubert. And
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. That is very hard time for her, for me as well, for her, for our family. And this is big time. And 2 months ago, I had the same problem with my mother in Stargard. Yeah,
mhm.
and then that was she had problem with heart. The ambulance came to our house. Yeah, and they tried to give her different medicine. This medicine is dangerous for her, and they knew that, because everything is in the medical card. So in the last moment, our reaction was, so, on the time, and we avoid the situation. But so in the hospital, they gave her too much and too fast, another product, yeah, and then that was a big problem for us because she was disappear like a baby, and then on our hands, yeah, and they had to save her, yeah, so twice in the one evening,
Wow.
yeah.
Yeah, that's not fun to be a part of that.
This is no joke. This is not a joke. Yeah, but I have question for you because my audience, they don't know you, yeah.
Mhm.
And then because this book, so thank you very much, Ian, for your book, yeah.
Thank you.
Everyone's supposed to just read this because it's a hard story for you, and this is a big piece of truth, yeah. And I just wanna, could you just tell everyone what's happened, why they, because you spent, so about 50 months, 50 months
Hmm.
together in prison and the heart psycho hospital, so that why they put you they drop you from the prison to hospital. Could you tell everyone the story?
Yeah, I mean, it started out just I didn't have a chance in court, and I think it's because Civiots was in that court and Sławomir is connected to that court, but basically, and it go like your prosecutor's report recently, where the prosecutor in Stettin, Piętrzakowski, he said that, we're not going to investigate because there's no evidence. And that's been the problem from day one. When I got arrested in Stargard, and my only intention in doing that was to have a platform so they would listen to me, because I had tried for 4 months to get help and no one was listening to me. So I'm arrested. I'm thinking, all right, now they're going to listen to me. This will be over soon. And
Yeah,
I go before the judge and I say, I understand what I did was a crime, but I'm here because my daughter was stolen from me and she's being abused by this man. And I need you to look into it. I need you to do a child abuse investigation. And so they listen to me say that, and then they listen to, the whole Polish side of the family. And they didn't do an investigation. They just said, well, only Ian says there's a problem in this family in Poland, and all these other people are saying the problem's Ian. Therefore, the problem has to be Ian. And I tried to say, but they don't have any evidence, just like I don't have any quote unquote evidence, right? What we need to do, what I wanted to do, is call witnesses from the Netherlands who knew both Agata and I, who could shoot holes through their story, because that is the crux of it. Did Agata and my daughter escape from me, or was it an abduction planned by Sławomir, right?
yeah,
And the book shows that it was an abduction planned by Sławomir, that I was trying to get help weeks before this. So then I'm in Polish court in Sąd Rejonowy w Stargardzia, and the judge there decides to charge me with attempted murder. And the details of that are in my book. Like, I didn't really care what I was being charged with. Um, but so he sends me to arrest Sledgev Stargardzia, and I'm there, and I go between there and Stettin for the next 19 months, and that includes a psychiatric observation by the court psychiatrist. So when the court psychiatrist observed me, I say, my daughter's being abused. I need an evaluation. And they say, well, your daughter's not being abused, because Prosecutor Wesolowski's report says my daughter's not being abused. And so that's what it all comes down to, is the prosecutor's report says there's no abuse, but he doesn't know if there's abuse because he never investigated. He just took Sławomir and Agata's word for it. And that's the whole problem, is that this type of child abuse is in the family and you can't take their word for it. They needed to look at the 4-year-old child and they didn't. So therefore, they said, you have a delusion, Ian, because you believe your daughter's being abused, and there's no evidence of that. So it was like a catch 22, because there can't be evidence because there's been no investigation. And I'm not going to stop talking about it because my daughter was just stolen from me, and she had bruises and vaginal pain, and talking about her grandfather's private parts and all of that. So, like, obviously something's going on. My daughter was stolen. My book proves that, right? Like, and so it was just a matter of Ian believes something that's not in the record. That's what it
That's the
was.
book. That's the book. And so I know you are innocent because wasn't reaction for your book. Nobody, so who is included in your book, yeah, that wasn't reaction from them. Yeah, normally someone's supposed to go to with you to the court, and they just stop printing or something like this. Nobody did it.
Right.
So exactly we know what's going on, and this is truth. Yeah, that's a big point for you. Yeah, so I'm sure about that. Yeah, I'm sure
And
about this.
that's
So, sorry.
so no, that's like that's what I tried to introduce, the evidence that's in my book into my trial. Like I have a
They are.
background in law. I knew how to prepare for my trial. I tried to introduce it, and the judge just said, "No, I don't need to. I don't want to see it. I already know what's happening here."
You
And,
know,
and he didn't want to do a full investigation. He just wanted to give Slavomir's family.
I'm sorry, Ian.
Yeah.
Prosecutor, the last time prosecutor, say you have this document from me, so prosecutor said, just write down the paper, is in your book is nothing important. Yeah, this is 600
600. Yeah.
pages. I just think, I'm thinking, so wasn't time for him for read everything, you know what I mean? Because this
Right.
answer was, so very quick. So
Well, if
they
he,
did they did they
I would
didn't
point him to the important parts. I'm sorry
they
for
didn't. People
right.
ask me what's happened more. I said, when I was in the prosecutor office, so I just write down, say information about Radek Sikorski and his wife.
Hmm.
This is a high, say, politician in Poland, yeah, and because he's in Epstein, the files, yeah.
Yeah.
Nobody's reaction is in Poland. Believe me, so in United States, I see because I see, information, so in internet, that you try to do something with the files, yeah. In Poland,
Hmm.
nobody, so maybe just few people, and then if everyone is quiet, nobody try just do some things with this, yeah, with this big problem, yeah.
Yep.
And no, just Radosław Sikorski is included, inside the files, yeah. But so many different people from Poland, yeah,
Hmm.
and many names, very important names, in the Polish, state, yeah.
Yep.
So that's very interesting for me and for everyone, but not for Polish people, I think, I hope, so Polish people are wake up, so very quickly because, so that's very important, so time for everyone, and then everyone is sleeping,
Yep.
maybe I think, nobody knows everyone is in the cage because people are in the cage,
Hmm.
yeah, and I don't want a situation when it's gonna be too late for them. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's like, oh, I am in the cage. I told you you are in the cage. Yeah, we have big fucking problem. Yeah, in this country, and not just in this country, we have problem. This is global problem. Yeah,
Hmm.
in America, in the United Kingdom, and Germany, everywhere.
Yep. Yeah.
Even smaller country in in this world,
Yep.
even small one,
Yeah. It's
everywhere,
affected everywhere for sure.
every single a town,
Hmm.
completely everywhere. Yeah,
Hmm.
and we know that because, for example, we are talking. I'm in Stargard now. Yeah,
Yep.
and someone tried to kill my wife. In Warsaw. Yeah, this is not just about the Stargard's politicians.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah,
I
this is
know.
big problem, and everyone's supposed to know that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
So tell us more. So what's happened later? Uh, when is someone tried, suggest, to talk to you about your book later, or nobody?
no, nobody. No.
Nobody.
I mean, there were people like when I got to the maximum security hospital, right? The director there, he sat down with me and he told me straight up, like, you shouldn't be here. It's a mistake. He couldn't figure out why I was there, right? And he said, like, you don't even have any signs of mental illness because all I did is stop trying to fight for my daughter because I realized I didn't have the platform. And at that point, their whole definition of why I was ill was what that was crazy because it's like, I'm a father who lived with this woman for 7 years and had this child for 4 years, and like I know what was happening in my house, right? And like I might not be right about everything. You don't have to believe me about everything, but you can believe me that like my daughter had bruises and I'm concerned what's happening in this Polish family. And you can't just say, yeah, they're fine because they say they're fine. You're just showing your ignorance. So, like, there was along the way, there were people, therapists and people who would bring me into their office and say, I believe you, but there's nothing I can do. Or
Yeah.
guards who would say, this is Poland, this is not USA.
Yeah.
And I'm writing, I knew I was writing a book the whole time. I didn't know exactly what I was going to publish, but
Look, they knew what's going on in this country. They
yeah, they
knew.
did.
They knew, yeah. They knew exactly, what's going on. But you are not alone because, I know some people tried to, drop me to the psycho hospital too.
Yeah.
And just, you must be quiet, don't say anything to everyone, to
Yep.
just be quiet. Son, if you want to leave, yeah.
It's really the
If you
best way
want
to shut people up, right?
to
Like,
just shut up. Exactly. And
yep,
you must be just shut the fuck up, and that's it, yeah. This is
yep.
if you yeah, exactly, that's by the wanna.
Yeah, and it's
I
historically
don't wanna.
they've always used psycho hospitals to
They
shut people up.
listen, you just you lost, so about, so more than 4 years.
Yeah, 50
But
months, a long time.
and your daughter, yeah.
Right.
They just they my whole life was stolen. Yeah, my whole half life, actually 20 years or more, so just disappear. That was hard life. And, I told you, so I had to fight for every single day,
Hmm.
yeah. And not just in Poland, but, say in United Kingdom as well. But, say I spent, sometimes, in USA because I've been working over there. And the same situation, I had propositions, so from your Secret Service, like, so we can give you this, just be quiet, so we can be with us. Yeah, you can work with us, but I don't want to work with them. Yeah, because I know truth, so I know exactly what's going on, and I know who is the person, who they are. Yeah, what they do.
Hmm.
Yeah, you are, so big example, so what's going on, so what's happened, if you just try, so fight for your child.
Yep.
If you know truth, for example, that's what's hard for you because you are not Polish person,
Yeah.
and situation like this, in Poland, it's like, okay, he doesn't speak Polish properly. Okay, we got him.
Yep. I don't
Yeah,
speak Polish. I
no
didn't speak
problem.
Polish.
Nobody is gonna
No,
just ask for him.
no
Nobody is
money.
gonna fight for him. Nobody is gonna save him. Nobody,
Yep.
it's like, yes, it's big story. So the last time, because I think this part two video is very interesting now. So I just wanna show everyone, so your book again. Yeah. If someone need this book, just say write down to Ian info, and
Yep.
no problem. It's gonna be no problem. And the PDF as well, I think. Yeah,
Also, the PDF is free if you want it.
free. So everyone, if someone wanna just this book in PDF free, just so write down. Just tell us about your channel again.
Yeah. So go if you want a free book, send me an email at I love you like one at gmail.com, or you could go through the website, which is just iloveyoulikeone.com. And
Yeah, that's the book. That's the book. Yeah, so everyone can have one. So yeah, so that's it. Yeah, for this moment. Next time, I just wanna ask you more questions because so I'm just still reading this book. Yeah,
yeah,
and then I have more questions for you, but this is, in the next chapter, and then I wanna just tell some more what's going on in United Kingdom
yeah,
from me and my family, and this is very interesting story as well. It's not just one story because I spent there, so about 10 years. 10 years,
yeah.
yeah.
I can't wait to
And
hear it.
yeah, exactly. And when this the problem start, and the how,
Yep.
yeah, what happened, yeah, because
Awesome.
exactly,
I
exactly.
want to
So this is
hear.
very interesting story. I think everyone's gonna listen to us, and they just so know more about you and me, and so this big problem, yeah. So Ian, thank you very much for this conversation today.
Thank you, Hubert.
Thank you.
We'll talk
Thank you,
again
everyone.
soon.
Bye bye.